So Elon Musk has been whining in interviews about how people hate him, and he can't seem to understand why people hate him so much. Even with all the protests going on, what he's doing with Doge, he says he can't understand it. Do we believe him? That's what we're going to look at today. Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back. Let's get into it. Now, as an indication of just how much anger there is towards Elon Musk and Doge, this is yet another town hall where people are voicing their anger out there. And I don't know if Elon's seen some of this. I'm sure he has. But let's see. This is just one indication, a recent one.
I support Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency.
People really voicing their displeasure at these town halls, and the GOP are going to stop having these town halls for that reason. I think that people are showing up and voicing their anger against Elon Musk and Doge.
You actually tweeted out, and I'll put it on the screen, the level of violence is insane. It is deeply wrong. Tesla just makes electric cars and has done nothing to deserve these evil attacks. You just rescued two astronauts that have been in space for 286 days. They were only supposed to be there 8. You help the people in North Carolina, Tennessee, California. You have, I think, the most creative and innovative car on the market. You created Starlink for communications that's used by hundreds of countries. You're working on helping the blind see and all of these other things. Is it really come down to the basic, you're aligned with President Donald Trump, who also is a friend of mine, and that you have identified well over $100 billion in waste, fraud, abuse that our federal government never should have been spending? Is that what it comes down to?
Identifying $100 billion of waste, fraud, and abuse that has not been proven. They've posted things on, the Doge website, and things that they've posted have been proven to be wrong. They haven't proven fraud. And fraud is crime, and surely they'd go to the DOJ. Are they going to do that? Elon's talked about in another podcast interview that he thinks there's about 20% of fraud there will be, and they think they'll find $1 trillion worth of waste, fraud, and abuse. So that's $200 billion worth. That's a massive fraud. That would be massive fraud. So surely they would go to the DOJ. They would start to arrest people and actually put people in prison, because fraud is very serious. Or is it actually not true? They haven't found much fraud yet, or is it they're just saying it? He can really say whatever he wants. It's happening so fast. There's so much going on. He knows moving fast and breaking things. They haven't really proven the fraud that they're talking about yet.
Yeah, it turns out when you take away people's, what the money they're receiving fraudulently, they get very upset, and they basically want to kill me because I'm stopping their fraud. And they want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption in the government. And, I guess they're bad people. Bad people will do bad things.
Yeah, bad people do bad things. But what he's saying there, that he thinks that people are angry because he's finding the fraud, waste, and abuse in there. But that is not all. Obviously, I think he does know the truth here. He's just not saying it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that he's kind of gaslighting here a little bit? Obviously, there's just so much happened here. They're just flooding the zone, as Steve Bannon says, with this news. He's going in there and breaking things. Even from a judicial point of view, there's so many court cases. They're saying that they're almost fraudulent court cases, frivolous court cases. And obviously, people are angry. That's why there's these protests, and some extremists, yes, he thinks that people hate him for the reasons that they are committing fraud, not the fact that he's going in there and Doge is dismantling of government by Elon. So he's either does understand, but he's kind of lying about it, or that he is not a super genius and can't actually work out why people hate him.
Well, I know that overall, financially, in the end, yes, they can hurt you, but the people that they'll end up hurting are the people that work in your dealerships that may risk losing their job. The people that they may end up hurting are the people that work on the line and build the Teslas. They're going to be the ones hurt. And that to me is despicable on their part, just because they might have a political difference or perceived political difference.
Okay, so that's true. People at Tesla may lose their jobs if Tesla goes down, if the stock price goes down, and Tesla gets into trouble as a company because people don't buy the cars. But from a political point of view, if it's true that the US is sliding into authoritarianism, and what Elon is doing, he's one of the main people doing it at the behest of Trump, really going in there, breaking things, and just dismantling the government and replacing it with something that they want. We've talked about this in other videos about the plan that these tech billionaires have. They're tech authoritarians, really, that Elon is one of those. So if you are a Tesla worker, a SpaceX worker at his companies, would you actually want to be associated with something like this? I'd say if you're seeing what's going on and you think that Elon is doing this, why would you want to work there anyway? It would be probably a good idea to start looking for other work rather than working for something like this, to be on the right side of history. But if you agree with him, that is a different story, obviously. Now, if you're getting value out of this episode so far, I'd really appreciate it if you remember to hit that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people. It really does help. Thanks.
Let me ask you this, because I think this is pretty important. The average American makes $66,000 a year. We're close to $40,000 in debt. You said to me in our last interview, we won't have a country unless we fix it now. Can you explain why this is so important that we identify all this waste?
Yes, the government the government waste and fraud is the cost of our debt has gotten so high that just the interest payments on the debt exceed the entire military budget, and it was just growing out of control. So the country was going bankrupt. It's just, a country is no different from a person. If a country overspends and doesn't spend wisely, just like a person, a country will go bankrupt. So the reason I'm here is because I'm very worried about America going bankrupt due to the corruption and waste. And if we don't do something about it, the ship of America is going to sink. And we're all on that ship. And this may be a message to, people out there who have, are wealthy, have a lot of means, or control companies. It's like, just remember, we're all in ship America here. Your company is not going to exist if the ship of America sinks.
Okay, so I think it's being quite disingenuous here. Yes, the debt is huge, and everybody does want to address waste and if there is fraud in there. But also what they never say, what he's not saying here, is they're lining up for another massive tax cut. They never talk about revenue. Where's the revenue going to come from? They're talking about cutting waste, $1 trillion from the budget and so forth. But to raise money for the country, is that going to be taxes? Trump cut taxes last time, and these guys are lining up for a massive tax cut. AOC's been talking about this. Bernie's been talking about this. They probably try and do that as quietly as they can, but the tax cuts for the very wealthy, for the billionaires, you just watch this. So Elon is going in there and trying to cut $1 trillion, but what are they going to say about this massive tax cut? How are they going to spin that? Where's the money coming from to have such a massive tax cut? It's more than $1 trillion that this tax cut, I understand, per year adds up to. So they never talk about that, and he is not talking about that here, you'll notice.
We should do everything we possibly can to ensure that America is strong for far into the future.
And for
we're all
that,
sunk.
We're all sunk. And for doing that, you should not have your company be a victim of domestic terrorism.
So what do you think of this? Do you think that Elon actually does understand why people are hating him, why the protests are going on, even these extreme events, these protests, the arson and so forth? People are so angry to do something like this. Do you think that Elon actually does understand what's going on, and is he doing something different than what he says? People do seem to be seeing through it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put a related video just here. Go and see that now if you want to. And a subscribe link. Do subscribe if you want to get more of these kinds of videos from me in the very near future. I'm doing them daily. And thanks to you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.